So, it hit a record high in October, and we can see that they've tripled their position during the third quarter. They disclosed a position at the end of September that was worth around $520 million. And we can see that this is really going to be a part of their portfolio going forward. They're saying that they want to diversify it, and they really see it as the digital equivalent of gold. So they're an investment unit of Mubadala. They're kind of run separately, but this really seems to be part of the overall strategy by Abu Dhabi and the United Arab Emirates more generally to become a hub for crypto, as well as just to really become a player in the markets. You can see that Mubadala itself also has significant holdings in Bitcoin ETFs. They've set up new funds such as MGX that have done deals with crypto exchanges like Binance. And you can really see that, they see this as an important long-term diversification play. Yeah, well, look, it really gives it growing legitimacy. There's been a lot of questions about, institutional interest in it. Is it here to stay, or is it just a fleeting thing? We do see a lot of sell-offs in the Bitcoin ETFs recently as investor sentiment has turned. But it looks like the Abu Dhabi Investment Council is going to be in it for the long term. And this just really gives it legitimacy when a state-owned fund by one of the richest countries is plowing some of the reserve money into this. You can see that this is something that they really believe in.
Right.
Here we go. This is the September jobs report. Non-farm payrolls are up a robust 119,000. 119,000 would be the best since April, when we were up 158,000. In the rearview mirror, well, last month was downgraded from 22,000 to minus 4,000. Now, if we look at what's going on with the unemployment rate, it ticked up from 4.3 to 4.4. That was unexpected. 4.4 would... last time we were at that level, boy, I have to go back a ways. October of 2021, when it was 4.5%. Now, if we look at labor force participation rate, it ticked up. That's a good thing. 62.4 equals where we were in May. You have to go to April of this year, when it was 62.6, to find a higher number.
Congressman Warren Davidson is introducing a new bill to codify Trump's executive order for a U.S. Bitcoin reserve.
Well, first of all, the president created a strategic reserve of Bitcoin in part because the United States government didn't have like a single custodian. You had every agency in the government that might have had an asset, seized an asset, or anything else, any kind of digital asset. They didn't have custody of it, so they were losing track of the private keys. So essentially, when you lose your keys, you lose. It's like losing a pile of cash.
Yeah.
So they created an organized way and put it under Treasury to say, hey, we're going to have a single custodian for all of the Bitcoin, kind of like Fort Knox for crypto, right? Okay. And then they said, well, not all crypto is created equally. Bitcoin we want to hold on to. It's an appreciating asset over a long period of time. Some of these other things, we should just sell them off and buy more Bitcoin. But they wanted to do it in a deficit neutral way. And I think a lot of people have been like, well, how else do you put money in there? And so we're introducing legislation that not only codifies that executive order, so there's a common sense way to have custody for the Bitcoin and other digital assets, but you can contribute. So when you pay your taxes, you can pay your taxes in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is currency in that sense, and there's no capital gains. So for people that have held Bitcoin for a long time, they've experienced significant capital gains. When I first took office in 2016, Bitcoin was $500 or $600. Now, over 90,000. It's reached higher, but significant capital gains.
The second is monetary liquidity sensitivity. Global central banks easing. That's Bitcoin and Ethereum, and seasonally strong. I think they could make a monster move in the next 3 months, like huge.